Welcome everyone. Rich Clayton, partner, Aspire Marketing Systems. I want to welcome you to today's call. And today's call, we're going to focus on a concept, more really a way of being around how we show up in our relationships. And that's going to be the differentiation between casual and intentional. And we're going to talk about, moving acquaintanceships into relationships and kind of what that means for your business partners, your referral partners, what it does for your business, and the value and the power in doing so. So before we get started, just want to kind of go over some housekeeping items. Number one, be sure after today's call to send an email, give a call over to your loan officer that you're participating with in Aspire Marketing Systems. They have spent a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort, and identified you as somebody that is special to them in their life and that they want to help. And they chose you over a number of other real estate agents because of the relationship that you've created with one another, and that's really special. So be sure to thank them for getting you involved in Aspire and really helping transform your business and make a difference in your lives and the lives of the people you work with. And make sure, we say this every month, but make sure to visit the website continuously for any updates. And we're always rolling out additional training assets. It never hurts to listen to the training modules that you've already done so, the getting started, upgraded meetings, like how to go out and build your referral partners, your networks, and look for additional assets that we'll be adding every week and every month moving forward to kind of help you be more successful in your business. I'm also joined by Jake Lester, our Director of Marketing and Business Development. Jake is in the background here. He's going to be watching our Q&A. If you have any questions throughout today's call, you can type it in the bottom of your screen. He's going to answer those questions for you live. We'll also give you the opportunity to come on as a panelist and share some experiences that you may or may not had, either negative or positive. We'd love to hear about both. If it's negative, hopefully we can give you some solutions and answer some problems you might be having. And if it's positive, we want to hear what you're doing in your world and share it with other loan originators and share with all the other real estate agents that are on our call today so they can learn from you. What we're building, as you know, is a community of like-minded professionals that are going to learn from one another, that are going to share, that are going to give, and that really, have abundance in their life and not scarcity. So we're all about sharing and creation and, getting to the next level together. And you can always send questions, whether it be today, tonight, tomorrow, next week, to support@aspiremarketingsystems.com. And Jake and Kelly will be right there to answer any questions you might have. And if you have anything you're stumbling on, whether it be the website, playbook creation, or just, maybe you had a question about a meeting you might have had last week and you just want to talk to somebody about, how that went. You will also have access to the three founders, myself, Rich Clayton, Rick Shearer, and Mark Neri. We are here to answer any question you have and make sure that, you are extremely successful with the Playbook platform. So let's kick it off.
Hey, Rich, can I just touch upon one thing real quick? Back to your thoughts around creating that community. What I encourage everybody to do is head over to the Facebook page. We created this Facebook page to keep it interactive. And man, it would be awesome for you guys to go in there, lean on each other for questions, but more importantly, post your wins in there. I was talking to a loan officer the other day, and I had called her just to check in, and she's like, man, I've got this real estate agent just did a huge party for all of our people. I'm like, where are the pictures? Where are the wins? So guys, we just encourage you as you start off in this journey and you start to go create relationships, put events together, go on the website, use it, not the website, sorry, website, but also share all your stuff within Facebook, because man, that's what it's all about. Everybody feeds off each other's energy, creates a momentum, and then that's where we start to see just a huge amount of referrals flying the door, which is all we're looking for. So anyway, kick it back to you, Rich. Just wanted to add that color.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. Thanks for adding that additional color. That's awesome. So, definitely, like you said, get on the Facebook page, learn, give, share all the experiential things you're doing in your world, so everybody can learn from that, and we can really make a difference. So, as I mentioned, we're trying to be really specific on a call around one concept, and that is showing up intentionally instead of casually. What we've noticed, and been doing this for several years and working with a bunch of real estate agents and really keeping an eye on like who's doing what and where successes are coming from, and where people are failing. And there is a stark dichotomy between the people that are showing up powerfully and having a profound experience. They're more profitable, they're creating relationships, they're getting referrals, versus those who are not. Those that are doing it the old way, like doing it business as usual. And, like the definition of chaos, we always say, is doing the same thing and expecting different results. Well, people are still showing up casually. Realtors are showing up casually to their referral partners, and they're not getting referrals back. We need to change that. We need them to show up more intentionally and with purpose, and that is going to make a difference in your lives. I guarantee it, hands down. So what we do know, proven 4 years, hundreds of real estate agents, hundreds of people on the platform, is that when the playbook platform is executed as outlined, it performs. It does. It is a proven concept that if you listen to the training, use the language, follow the process, go out and show up in the lives of your preferred business partners, your community, powerfully and intentionally, it works. You will continue to build your referral partners and build the number of referrals that you're getting in return. If you're not in action, just the opposite is going to happen. And if that's what you want to do, that's great, but that's not what we're here to teach, and that's not what we're here to train around. Is really helping you get to the next level. So casual versus intentional. Let me start with like the definitions. Like, we all know what casual intentional is, but I just want to talk about this. Casual to me means relaxed, like not awake. Like when we go to a meeting, like we're not awake. We're not inspired to do everything we're capable of doing, be everything we meant to be, and walk away from a meeting or a conversation or discussion without having really taken any action or really haven't moved that, what I call an acquaintanceship, closer to a relationship. So, doing things without premeditation. Why do we do that? Maybe out of fear, maybe out of being anxious about what to say and how to say it, not knowing how to show up powerfully. And, maybe we just don't know any better until, we go through the training and learn how to show up powerfully and intentionally. And what is intentionally? It means doing something on purpose, like being very deliberate about having meaning, like getting out of the meeting what you want to get out of it. Like if you're experienced as casual, then there's a good chance the results you're going to receive are mediocre. And that's not really a differentiator. Like, we're not just talking about differentiating yourself in your business, but really transforming your casual acquaintanceships into intentional, committed relationships that, with a group of people, 20, 30, 40 people in what we call your home sphere, that people see you as somebody that they only want to do business with. Like, we all have choices, and all your preferred business partners that are potentially referring you business, they have choices to work with one or many different real estate agents. Like, why are they going to want to work with you? Because you show up intentionally, create a committed relationship, add value to their business, and they see you not as somebody they're just referring to, but more as a business partner and somebody that they want to do business with. Somebody that they don't want to do their own business without. Like, you really create this commitment to one another to work with one another and really take each other's business to the next level. So if you show up intentionally, you and your business partner, you have a strong desire to be something more, to do what you want, to get what you want out of the relationship. So an example of a casual relationship when meeting with a potential preferred business partner referral source is you walk away saying, boy, we really hit it off. We had a great meeting. We had a lot of alignment together, and we shared a lot of similarities in business practices. And like, I'm going to go away and I'm going to hope that they send me some referrals. I'm going to think that things went well enough that maybe they're just going to send me referrals. But leaning on hope or wishing or just wanting, like, that's really weak. And that's the results you're going to get out of having a casual acquaintanceship versus a committed relationship. But with intention, not only can you talk about what goals you're looking for, but it's important that you understand the goals that your business partner is also looking for. Like, what type of client are they looking for? How do they want to be referred? How are you going to treat one another's clients when you refer clients back and forth to one another? Like, until you go out and uncover all that context in their lives and how they run their business, like, you're leaving that meeting very casually. But having intention around understanding like what each one another wants, the likelihood of getting exactly what you want is going to be much higher than leaving, based on a casual interaction with one another.
Rich, can I just jump in here for real quick?
Yeah, would you please?
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, I agree 1,000,000,000% on what you're saying. And I think that, me and you, as we created this program, I'll be honest with you, I'm a big wuss. I don't like rejection. I'm never cold called a real estate agent, never walked into a real estate agent's office. So, but with that being said, we set this system up where it's just very easy to be committed. Like, man, like we all believe with Aspire, and what we coach around is leading with give, like leading first. Like, I'm going to do this for you. So, and I'm going to do that. And in return, I'm looking for something back, right? So we're not leading with our palm out going, hey, Mr. Plumber or Mr. Contractor, I'm looking for business. Like, lead with give. And when you do that and you set the table that way and you set it strong, it's really easy to ask for that committed relationship, right? It's really easy to ask for that, hey, can I get that business back? And the other thing I just wanted to add is keep in mind, guys, like the training, if you haven't been on the training, Mark does a phenomenal job around setting the stage to go and have these powerful conversations, right? We've got the how to uncover context with your partners, how to ask all the right questions. And again, you're doing the interview, right? You're asking them what their goals are, how they do their business, what kind of a client is for them, right? It's you pushing all this stuff out to them, right? And setting that base. So you can easily say, well, yeah, now let me tell you about what I'm looking to do or where I'm looking to take my business. And it just flows. It's so, I just want, some people get like, ooh, I don't want to ask for the business, or I'm a little timid around that stuff. But the way we both are too. Like we created this system. So it takes that resistance away, right? Because you're just starting with like, hey, let me show you how I can grow your business because I'm going to meet with 10 or 15 buyers this year. And man, I want them all know who you are. So anyway, I just wanted to just add that in there and get a little tactical. Like if you haven't been in the training, get there, listen to the audio training that Mark put in there, uncovering the context with your partner, service level agreement. Are you going to talk a little bit about that, or should I just?
Yeah, no, that's coming up. I'm going to talk about that.
All right. Well, I don't want to skip ahead. It's your deal. So I'll.
Yeah, no worries. So thank you for that, Rick. So yeah, like I want to expand upon that a little bit. And Rick talked about leading with give. A lot of the real estate agents that we've worked with, when they go out to their preferred business partners, their referral partners, they feel like they're showing up asking for something. As Gary Vaynerchuk talks about in his book, Jab, 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 Right Hook. The jab, jab, jab is the give, 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 and then build enough trust and have the ability then to ask for something in return. So what we found is, we talk about a tool, we talk about an asset, we talk about a system, the playbook, showing up powerfully with the playbook to your preferred business partners, your potential referral partners, giving them something. It's a really easy segue into hey, love to meet with you next week and talk about how I might be able to help your business. Of course, anybody's going to be open to that. But what you're not doing is saying hey, I'd like to meet with you next week so you can talk about how you can send me referrals, because that's not what it's all about. It's showing up, as Rick said, uncovering context, understanding about their business, showing up with give, how can I help you grow your business? How can I get more referrals to you? What's important to a referral? And then, that's the foundation for creating that relationship. And that's just showing up intentionally and being less casual about it. So, like I said, hoping for referrals is weak. It's a bad strategy. Showing up intentionally, forming relationships, that's going to be what's going to be generating referrals for you. So listen, I've got Jake in the background. We want to do a poll. We want to ask all the real estate agents on the call today a question, and that is about showing up casually versus intentionally. So Jake, could you post that poll for everybody to vote on?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to pull it up now.
And while Jake's doing that, I have asked hundreds of real estate agents that either I work with, potentially work with. I've done some lunch and learn, some seminars, and we talk about, how they show up to their meetings, how do they show up to people in their lives, whether it be referral partners, their family, their friends, people in their church groups. How do you show up? Do you show up casually? Do you show up intentionally? And, think about that for yourself, not only in business, but in life. How do you show up to others? So we're just waiting for, see, Jake posted it. So do you feel that you show up casually in your relationships?
And Rich, just out of curiosity, it's been a while since we've done one of these. Are you able to see the results on your end, or do you need me to give them to you?
So Jake, I only see the poll. I do not see the results.
Okay.
So
yeah. So
and Rich, before we launch this out, I want to throw it out to people on. I mean, we've got a ton of agents on the line. Man, it'd be really cool if someone would raise their hand. If you can't be physically on the call, we'd love to put you to a panelist and have you, show up. But I'd love some feedback from one or two agents around: are they doing it? Are they showing up casually? And what's happening? Are they showing up powerfully? And this is happening. And yeah, maybe I'd love for someone to say, yeah, listen, I'm stuck and I'm showing up casually. And then let's kind of spend a couple minutes on helping them work through that. I just think that would add some value if anybody is willing to do that.
Yeah, let's give us about 10 more seconds. Only about half of the people have voted. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and.
All right, I think 70% have to vote, or we're just going to sit here and stare at each other. Ready?
All right, getting closer, 67.
Come on, guys.
Come on, guys, get your vote in. We won't share your names with everyone.
Jake, do you see that?
Yeah, in fact, this is actually completely anonymous. We can only say yes or no. So
I voted, so I don't.
All right, 71. Here we are.
All right, cool.
75 now. So thank you, guys. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. And then, Rich, if you can't see the results, just let me know, okay?
Yeah, Jake, I can't see the results. So why don't you tell us what percentage of people show up casually versus intentionally?
Yeah, so it's actually interesting. So 45% of people have said that they do feel that they show up casually in their relationships. And 55% have said that they do not feel that they show up casually in their relationships.
That's great. So about 50-50. Well, listen, I'm going to share a story with you. And while I'm doing that, I want you to think about, a situation or relationship that you either have have had for a long period of time, or maybe one that you've just recently created. And we would, look for your thoughts, your questions, your contributions. We'd love to make you a panelist and share with the group, what a situation or example of a relationship that you showed up powerfully, intentionally, or casual, and what we would consider more and weak. So let me share the story with you. So, last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, I was doing a lunch and learn for a handful of real estate agents. And the lunch and learn was all about the topic of networking. And, me, that quickly moved into, talking about networking with people, but in a much different way, like not doing it in the normal way that we've always done in the past. And that's casual because, we go to these networking events and you exchange cards and niceties, and you walk away, and like 2 days later, you've got the stack of business cards and you don't even know what to do with it. And maybe there's one or two people in the group that you really aligned with, and you might, meet with them for coffee a week down the road. And, it's just the same old, doing the same old thing and basically getting mediocre results. So we started the lunch and learn around networking and like how to go be intentional with people. And, we started talking about like how people show up at a meeting. Like, do they just talk about themselves? Or do they ask a lot of questions, what we call uncovering context, learning a lot about the other person's business and talking about, like what might be important to one another and what we're looking for. Like, what do we want to get out of this meeting? Like I've shown up with purpose, and this is what I'm looking to achieve today out of today's meeting. And if it goes that way and we're in alignment, then great. And if it doesn't, like that's great too. But better we know now than we spend, 6 months together, like just fumbling over one another and tripping down the road and we get nowhere. So, really showing up intentionally with what we want to get out of the relationship. So do you just discuss things like how you're going to refer, what type of a client you're looking for? When they refer you, like maybe how long is it going to take you to get back to that person? Like let's be really direct about what we want out of today's meeting. And if you don't do that, then quite honestly, you're not showing up as a leader and moving that person into a relationship. Like you just had a great coffee or a lunch or maybe beers with somebody after work, and yeah, it was just casual, but it wasn't intentional. So you didn't get out of that what you probably want to get out of that. And one of the agents in the lunch and learn said to me, Rich, over the last several years, I have referred a painter about 7 times. And I said, would you say you have a relationship with this painter, or is it kind of casual? And she said, well, before I answer that question, I got to tell you, I've given this person 7 referrals, and you know what? This painter has never, ever once referred me. So either they don't think I do a good job, or maybe they don't know what I do, or maybe I did a bad job explaining to them what I'm looking for. And as she started talking and talking and talking and realizing, like she started waking up to the fact that like she hadn't shown up to this person intentionally. It's always been casual. And she said to me right out, she goes, Rich, I guess my relationship with this person has just been casual for the past 7 years or several years. And, like she had an epiphany, like I need to start showing up more intentional and having conversations with this person because we are in alignment and we do like one another about what I'm really looking for. And, when I send them a referral, instead of just sending them a referral, like really understanding how they want their referral to be received and how they want to be referred and what's the best way of doing it and use of communication and so forth. And like there was an awakening. Like she woke up and said, yeah, I need to be more intentional with the people in my sphere, in my network, and showing up less casually. I want to talk about one other agent that I love working with. Her name is Jen, and we've been working on the playbook together only for about a month. And she shared with me right in the middle of this meeting when we were talking about casual versus intentional. She said, Rich, I just had a really great experience with a builder, how we started moving our relationship from very casual, which I never got a referral from him, to intentional. And like, I really saw the power in doing that. I was like, Jen, share this with me. So she went on to tell me, I have this casual relationship and an acquaintance with a builder. And, I stopped in one day to kind of see like the type of work that he does and how he does it and, you know, how we might be able to help one another. But we left that meeting and it was very casual and we didn't really speak for another couple of weeks. And, quite honestly, nothing really came out of it. And she said, after working with you and going through the training, excuse me, the training with Mark Maneri and the getting started and how to have a more impactful upgraded meeting with a potential referral source, she met with the builder again. And she started talking about like asking a lot of questions, like what's important to him in his business and telling him like what's important in my business as a real estate agent. And she uncovered a lot of context that like she didn't know anything about in the past because she never really showed up that way. And the builder, when she said, well, if I were to refer you a client, like it would be really important to me to know that you would call the client back within 24 hours. I like my client to be called back in an hour or two, but I understand, you're busy, you're on a job or whatever, but, would you create an agreement with me, which we're going to talk about service level agreements, but would you create an agreement with me that if I were to refer somebody to you, that you'll get back to within 24 hours? And he said, yeah, listen, I never even knew that was important. I do my work, I have my projects, I'm really busy during the day. I usually try to get back to people by the weekend. And, if I get a referral on a Monday, I'll definitely get back to them by Friday or Saturday. And she said, yeah, that doesn't really work for me. That doesn't align with me because my clients in real estate, like they're looking for a call back in a short period of time. And if they don't get a call back in 3 or 4 days, like they're on to the next person. And he's like, yeah, I never even knew that. Like, thank you for sharing that with me. And, I would be, of course, I would be honored to do that. If you were to send me a referral, like I'd form an agreement with you that I'll get back to within 24 hours. So that was the beginning of like each one another uncovering context in their business about how they would react to a referral once one was passed back and forth to one another. And she left the meeting saying, like, he was really excited to work with me because, like, I showed up like no other real estate agent has ever shown up to him before. Every other real estate agent has always shown up casually. Like, I do this and I do that, and here's what I do for my clients, and never really about, like, what can I do for you? Like, when I send you a referral, how do you want to be referred? Like, these are the important things that I want in you to do for me when I refer a client to you. And by the way, what are the things that are important to you when you refer me a client? Because I want to make sure I honor that agreement as well. So now she's meeting with him, I think in 2 weeks, they have a meeting to talk about getting him into the playbook, creating really an intentional, committed relationship with one another that, like, he sees her as a real estate agent that is, like, above the other real estate agents. And they're creating a committed relationship with that she's going to refer him business because she sees him as somebody that is in total alignment with her. And she's showing up powerfully, moving that relationship from that casual over here to intentional and creating a committed relationship where, like, they're going to refer business back and forth to one another. And in a short period of time, realize that like they are in line in sync and aligned with one another, and they're only going to refer business back and forth to one another. So that was a huge, like, awakening for Jen. So I give Jen a lot of credit. 1 year into 1 month into the training, starting to fill up her playbook, going out and meeting with financial planners, CPAs, builders, and getting the response back from them that is like phenomenal because she showed up powerfully, which she's never done in the past. And she says it's so exciting creating these relationships with people that see her as somebody that's different, a different real estate agent, that is miles above everybody else. And, the referral is literally just going to follow. So listen, I want to stop right here. Based on what everybody said, those of you who said you show up to all of your relationships intentionally and not casually, whether it be business, personal, or what have you, I want to invite one of you to raise your hand. Jake can make you a panelist. Come share an experience with us. We can tell you all the experiences that we've had, but I want you, as one of our real estate agents around the country, to share an experience that you have had with the other agents on our call, just to kind of get the juices flowing a little bit. So would anybody willing to do that?
Yeah, actually, Rich, we've got a rock star real estate agent, and she's doing phenomenal. She's just started in the business and has absolutely taken this playbook and, man, I think made it a real big centerpiece around her business. So want to welcome in Kendra Lalongo.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
How are you?
Hey, Kendra, welcome.
Hey, thank you so much.
You bet.
What do you want to share?
I just wanted to obviously comment on the casual versus intentional. Totally throwing myself under the bus here, but I feel like I tend to show up casually because a lot of the vendors that I've met with, I actually know and have known since before I became a realtor. So because of that, I think I find it difficult to put that professional hat on. It almost seems like I'm in like a theater performance. So it's not necessarily because of them. It's more on my end. I think I just have a tough time finding that balance between someone, they've known and someone they might want to have a more professional, like working relationship with. So I definitely do tend to show up more casually than I want. And anyone who wants to give me some advice, that'd be awesome. Like I said, I'm pretty new to this. So,
well, if I could first jump in and add, so I've gotten to know you pretty well. And I experience you as someone who's actually pretty direct.
Yeah, maybe
so
I'm
it's surprising me. I was actually thinking you were going to come the other way, but I love that. I love that you came in and you're sharing this and kind of being vulnerable. And what I would add to it is, because you have that casual relationship, maybe it makes sense to actually call out the fact that you're going to move this relationship to a committed relationship, just kind of be playful with it, that, we've known each other for years and you know me from this time and that time. And I'm going to put my real estate hat on and I'm going to work to move this relationship from a casual one to a committed one. And so let's talk about what that looks like, and really just calling it out and having fun with it. I think by doing that, it's an easier way to, instead of having to speak directly to it, maybe having fun with it. What do you?
I think I've definitely had a couple of casual relationships that turned out in partnerships, which is awesome. So, and those were early on when I first started talking to vendors and first got my hands on the playbook and all of that. So I was like, oh, okay. That this was a casual relationship, but it actually resulted in a partnership, which is great. So I think I kind of just kept going on that mindset. But the last couple of conversations I've had, the vendors have been like, oh, we don't do exclusive partners, which I also understand, but I think I need to do exactly what you said and just approach it with the, I know we've known each other, but we're kind of switching gears a little bit here and not, not be so awkward maybe. I don't know.
Now, can you share with me, don't have to name actual names, but industries that have said to you that we don't do exclusive relationships?
One was an electrician, and I'm trying to remember the other one. This is a couple months ago. I've met with so many people. I forget who the second one was, but the one was definitely an electrician. Yeah,
because let's talk about that for a second too. There's definitely going to be industries that rely on their livelihood to work with a bunch of real estate agents, right? Mm-hmm. And it's things like insurance agents that really specialize in home ownership, attorneys or title companies that obviously have to work with many of them. And so it's not unlikely that you're going to hear this. And so a couple of things that I would again just kind of offer up next time this might happen is asking them how many referrals they're receiving from other real estate agents. Is it a part of their business? Have they never been referred, or are they referred 10 times a week? And that's really good information to know and uncover, right? Mm-hmm. And I think if they say something like, "Well, no, man, I get them from the Google. I don't really get them from real estate agents.
Mm.
It gives you an ability to say, well, hey, if I was able to get you 3, 4, 5, 8 referrals in the next year, would that move you to actually even moving me up in the list, or deciding that maybe a relationship committed relationship would make sense. So, I would just kind of go a little bit deeper with it and see if you can. And again, sometimes, and I'll talk about my Linda story here in a little while, that sometimes they just don't have the capacity to send you any business, or their best friend, their wife is a real estate agent, things like that. So sometimes you gotta kiss a couple frogs to find the right partner.
Okay, cool. Thank you
Rich,
so
you have
much.
anything to add to that?
Yeah, and Kendra, I might add too, like you talked about, like what else could you do? And I don't know if you're currently doing like service level agreements with your vendor partners, but doing a service level agreement, like a couple months ago or last month, we talked about expectations versus agreements. And an expectation is really on you. When you have an expectation of somebody, as you know, it's how you want it to turn out, how you want it to end up. Whereas when you have, and that can fall really, really flat very easily if they don't share, what you have an expectation of them to do. If it's completely opposite, then it's probably not going to turn out well. It's going to fall flat. So what we recommend is creating an agreement with them, like sharing with them, like, here are the 7 or 8 things that are important to me when I send you a referral, and what are some things that you would add to that? And they might say, well, it's really important that you do this when I send you a client. And you say, yeah, I'm in alignment with that. Like, I will honor that. And what you're doing now is you're creating an agreement. Instead of having expectations of one another, you're creating an agreement around, when we refer clients back and forth to one another, like, we're both going to honor this agreement. And to really make it impactful, like, don't be afraid, go on the website, it's under the training. We give you the blanket service level agreement, which is a Word document. You can use your own language, put it on your own letterhead, but bring that to your relationships and say, like, I would like to talk about forming this agreement with you, and like, if you'd be willing to, I want to put this in writing. Like, we're both going to sign it. And if they're doing that, it's almost like taking that relationship to the next level, because it's less casual, it's more intentional, it's more committed, because now they feel as if, like, not only are you going to honor them, but they feel committed to honoring you. And maybe they are giving a referral to 2 other real estate agents, but what you're doing, you're showing up more powerfully than the other agent. And as Rick said, ask them how many agents they refer business to. And yeah, maybe you're not getting every one of their deals, but maybe you get every third. And if they give out 10 referrals, you get 3 of them, 3 deals from one person. Not bad. 30 people in your community that are each giving you 3 deals each. I mean, that's a home run. You had said,
without like an exclusive partnership, just us referring business only to each other, you think that it's okay to still have an SLA with that vendor?
Absolutely, because what you're not saying, you're not talking about exclusivity. All you're saying is, if and when we refer business back and forth to one another, this is what we're going to agree upon.
Okay, gotcha.
And if they send you 1 out of 1 or 1 out of 10, that person that they refer you or you refer them, the 2 of you are going to honor that agreement.
Gotcha.
You had also said, like the first people I went out to was all the people that I already work with, that I already know. We call that low-hanging fruit, because those are the easy people. They already know you, they love you. Like, you could literally go have a meeting and screw up, and they're not going to throw you to the wolves, right? But definitely with the low-hanging fruit, this is an opportunity to upgrade that relationship.
Yeah.
So like you said, I feel like I show up casually. That's great. You admitted that. That's awesome. Now you have an opportunity to show up with them more intentionally and get more committed around one another, and start with the low-hanging fruit, because those are the people that already know you and love you, before you start asking clients, friends, and family, hey, do you know a good CPA that you can refer me that I'd like to go network with? Because those are going to be a little bit harder, but once you've had 10 or 15 meetings with the people that you know, then the rest of them, it just comes really easy, because it's going to be like old hat to you.
Yeah, no, you're right. Thank you so much. That's really helpful.
Yeah, and I want to just add one more thing, and then I'm going to let you go. But sometimes I hear about this agreement that people are like, I'm just unsure about signing it. And I want to just change people's thoughts on it a little bit. If you come at this from a place of like, I want to know what that person will expect from me, and I'm committing to this first, like, man, it's really important that you know what to expect from me. It's a lot easier than to ask them to do it. Like, I'm just, so some people are like, well, if you lead with this, like, hey, I want you to sign this and make sure you're taking care of my clients, I could see how that's a little edgy. But come at this from like, again, I want you to know what you can receive from me. And yeah, just want to make sure that that's something that we're both on the same page with. So
Definitely.
Kendra, try it on. If you need anything from me, let's connect.
I know how to stalk you.
No, I'm just really excited for what you're up to, and you're killing it, and good for you. You're doing awesome.
Thanks to your team. You guys are the best. You know the story. Anyway,
thank you so much. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, Kendra. All right, so cool. Jake, let's throw Mr. Slater up. He's got something to share and add value. There he is.
Hey, Cliff, I'm going to try to unmute you. It looks like I can't. Do you see anywhere down at the bottom of your screen? It should look like a little bit of it looks like a mic, and it has a red X across it. You're going to want to click that. There you go. You're unmuted, but we can't hear you.
Still can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
Are you out there, Clifford?
Cliff, do you know sign language, bud?
Cliff, we'll give you a couple seconds to see if you can figure it out, and we'll just keep you on as a panelist. He's throwing up his hands, can't figure it out. That's okay, Cliff. We might leave you as a panelist just for a couple seconds just to see if you might be able to join us, and we'll keep rolling in the meantime.
Cliff, do you have a mic on your phone,
Or if you have like the headphones that come with like an iPhone, for example, that have a mic on the cord, you could try plugging those in. That might work. No, not handy. Okay. All right. Sorry, Cliff.
He what did he say? Let's see if I can. Man, technology, love it.
Well, listen, while we're waiting for Clifford to get technology in order, I just want to talk about one additional topic. We have about 15 minutes left in our call, so I want to make sure I get this in. And this might answer, Kendra, to your question. Rick had mentioned like how many referrals are you getting from the other real estate agents that you work with? And I want to talk about one powerful tool, and that is leverage. Like we haven't really talked about this so much in that, you're going out and you're building a community of people that you can refer business to. And that, as you know, as being a real estate agent, that's a very valuable, extremely valuable asset to your client. So when your client needs a painter, when they need a plumber, when they need a stager, a mover, they're going to need a financial plan. They're definitely going to need a handyman down the road. Being that resource to be able to say, I've got a guy or I've got a woman that can do it, and they do it better than anybody else in business. Having that ability to have 30 or 40 people, or even 20, go to business partners, vendors that you can refer business to, that you're not just saying, here's a name and number, give them a call and good luck, but you're saying, here, let me introduce you to so-and-so. They're the best X in the business, and I'm going to make a referral to you by email. So like I can introduce the two of you one-on-one, and I guarantee you that this person is going to treat you white glove service. Like I have a relationship with them, and we have a service level agreement in place. Like I know exactly how they're going to treat you. And, it's really important to me that like when I started this relationship with this person, like we didn't leave it loose. Like things that are important to me in a referral, they're going to honor. And that's why I'm referring to them, because they're the best in the business. And, when I say leverage, imagine for a minute, you have 30 people in your home sphere. And by the way, we say home sphere because you're in real estate, but they don't necessarily have to be part of the home buying or home selling or home maintenance sphere. They can be a CPA, a financial planner. They can be a dog walker. They can be the person that cuts your hair, the one that does your nails, organizers. Like, it can be home sphere or not home sphere, but besides the fact, you have 30 people in your sphere of relationships, potential referral partners. Every time you get a client, you have the ability to give out up to 30 referrals to a network of trusted business partners, trusted vendors that know exactly how to treat your client and that you can count on and that you feel good about referring. A lot of agents say, well, I don't refer people because I don't know a good so-and-so, or they're going to make me look bad. Or I'm like, yeah, because you have an expectation of how it's going to go and you haven't formed an agreement around service level. So that's why it's so important. But every client that you have having the ability to refer out 30 people, the more and more people you refer to these vendors and you have a relationship with them, they see you as somebody that is much different than every other real estate agent they do business with, they're more inclined to send you a client back. So let's say your builder, your financial planner, your CPA, your dog walker sends you a client. Now you have 29 other partners, vendors that you could send that client to. So if everybody in your network sent you one referral next year, you can give back 29 referrals or potentially 29 referrals to everybody in the group. So they give you one, you give them up to 29. Like, that's an incredible amount of leveraging the client. One of the polls that I'm going to ask Jake to do right now, every time I ask real estate agents this question, I am enamored by the results that I get. And that is how many people refer their client to before, during, and after either a buy or sell transaction. I would love to get people's feedback on that and their answers. So Jake, could you throw up that second poll for me?
Yeah, you got it. It's going to go ahead and launch right now.
So again, on each buy or sell transaction, how many professionals in your home sphere, or it doesn't even have to be home sphere, do you refer your client to before, during, or after the transaction? Now, keep in mind, as you're filling this out, we're in the business of buying and selling real estate. You are. We're a lender. So the four easy ones are your lender, your attorney or title company, a home inspector, and an insurance agent. Like, those are the four that, like, I don't know if a transaction can happen without those four people. So, obviously you want to have control over the process and who your people are going to and make sure everything goes smoothly. So you want to be the one that's referring, but like, take a minute, answer the poll, and we're going to share that with everybody. And I'm going to talk to the results, because this is really important about really leveraging your client, being able to give out more referrals to get more referrals back. As Rick talked about, like, leading with give. Like, you're not showing up to your relationship saying, who can you send me? But more importantly, you're showing up saying, who can I send you and how would you like me to refer them to you? So you're leading with give. And, just based on human nature, based on like reciprocity. If you continually refer somebody, like, they're going to feel inclined to refer you back. And, before we get off our call today, Rick's going to share an interesting story he has with one of his agents about how that didn't happen and why. And I'll leave that to him to do. But so Jake, how are we looking on the poll?
Yeah, we've only had half the people vote. So let's give it, it's been a minute and 50 seconds since we started. You guys, we'll give you 15 more seconds to go ahead and put your vote in.
All right, so a few more seconds. We're just going to stare at one another until you answer the poll. And it's really important that you're accurate on this one. And maybe we're working with 100 real estate agents or more that are just the best in their business, and this will fall on deaf ears. But my experience is the numbers have been pretty low. for a number of reasons. We can talk about that. So Jake, how are we looking?
So we have technical difficulties because we've got Clifford. Can you hear us?
I can hear you guys.
Can you guys hear him?
I can hear Clifford.
All right, you're on my line, Clifford. You're me for right now. But we got you on listening. So why don't you tell us your share with us?
Okay, great. Well, thanks for having me. So I've been using the system now for maybe close to a year, maybe not quite a year. And this story goes back a little bit in the fall, but it was a pretty powerful aha moment for me in terms of being intentional and looking to uncover context. So I had a contractor who is in my playbook, and he came in for a refinance, which is wonderful in and of itself, and he's looking to take money out because he finished a contracting job on his own home. And in looking at his P&L, and I'm talking to him, I noticed that there's a line item for insurance, for health insurance, and it's a big number. And I talked to him about it, and he basically said it was one of his biggest pain points, you know, in his life and his bills, is the cost of health insurance, as I'm sure it is for a lot of us. And I had this aha, I've got a guy moment. And I do happen to have someone in my playbook and SOI who's an expert in personal health insurance. So I asked him if I could connect the two of them. They did get connected. He wound up saving more on his health insurance than the increase in cost from his cash out refinance. So he increased his loan amount $80,000. His payment went up $350, and he told me he wound up saving over that on his health insurance premiums with my guy. So I had a guy that was extremely happy in the health insurance business who has a new client. I have a contractor now that is thrilled because he basically just got $80,000 for free in terms of monthly payment. And I feel like I increased my fishermen out there in the market exponentially, just people looking out for me on my behalf. The contractor was initially referred to me by a realtor who this story got back to, and she's thrilled with me, and we're doing more business together. And in addition, the health insurance person has been connecting me with periodically additional realtors that he does a lot of work with realtors, as so many of them are self-employed. And he's been able to connect me with agents that he thinks are a good fit for me. So this whole, you know, the uncovering context, the showing up intentionally, it really creates what I call velocity, where things are building off of each other, and a lot of momentum and velocity. That's been really tremendous for me.
Well, and just to add, and just so everybody's clear, Clifford is a loan officer. And so when he means, so loan officers sometimes have their own playbooks, which they use. So yeah, so that's great. Clifford, that's amazing. And man, if you just didn't have that person in your sphere, that connection wouldn't have happened. It's all about relationships, guys. And that's awesome. Anything else to add before we jump?
No, well, just that it really was from the training is the same, which is uncovering context, being intentional, you know, looking to lead with give. You know, I was really looking at this person's financials and seeing if there was a way I could help where I was not even the direct beneficiary, and helping others build businesses. So it's, you know, it's the same themes that are core to the system that have been phenomenal for me.
Well, dude, you're awesome. Thank you very much for sharing and being part of the playbook and being a huge ambassador for us. Go handle your computer microphone so we can have you back on another call.
There you go. All right,
Hey,
Pat.
thanks a lot, Clifford. We got about 5 more minutes, and I just want to be really cognizant of our time and respectful. You know, we try to keep this under an hour. So really quick, Jake, can you share with us the results of the poll?
Yeah, sure. So we had about 60 people, I'm sorry, 60% of people vote. And of those 60%, we had 38% say they refer between 0 and 3 professionals. 56% say they refer between 4 and 7 professionals. And 6% say they refer between 8 and 11 professionals on each buy or sell transaction.
That's great. Thank you for that. So that's not too far off from what I've heard after, asking probably close to 1,000 real estate agents that question over the last year in helping them, move their relationships from casual to committed and really leveraging the client. And the reason or the reasons that I get is like they don't have a good so-and-so to refer business to, or they have expectations of a person, and when they referred that client to that person, like it fell really flat because they didn't have an agreement around service levels. For a number of different reasons, they don't refer a handful of people. But if you think about, like, it's almost like a shift in your thinking. Instead of like, where is the next buyer? Where is the next seller? Where am I getting the next transaction from? Spending 5% of your day, 10% of your week, whatever works for you, is going out and having these powerful meetings, showing up with intention to potential business partners, referral partners, as Clifford mentioned, the fishermen, going after the fish as a client, finding your fishermen are the people that are going to refer you clients in return. Having a network of trusted business partners, referral partners that you can refer your clients to and get it from the 4 to 5 to 7 up to the 10, the 12, the 15, being in alignment with your lender partner that sees all of their information on the application, what we call a 1003, and referring out when there's an opportunity to do so to the financial planner, the CPA, the estate, and insurance person. Like, you just up your game by 4 people on top of the 4 that I said were the really easy ones. So, think on every transaction as Clifford did, like, who can I connect my client, or who can I connect somebody with that's in my sphere to help create more committed relationships and get more referrals out to your business partners. So anytime they hear the word real estate, whether that person's looking to buy or sell, whether it's in the towns or neighborhoods you do business in, or the next state over, or halfway around the country because you can get a referral, you want them thinking of you. And that's moving your relationship from casual to committed. So I know we only have a couple more minutes here. Rick, I just wanted you to share that quick story, experience that Linda had with one of her preferred business partners. Will you do that for us?
Yeah, Linda's was on the book earlier on when we were really testing the market with it, and she essentially said to me when I went through how it all works and that sort of thing. She said, my CPA is going to love this. I've sent him 10 deals in the last 5 years, and yeah, he's a really great CPA, and I'm able to actually get him a lot of business. So she said, I'm going to be able to push him even more business with this platform and sit down with her. And again, we coached around how to go and have a powerful conversation, and she did. She said, I know I've sent you, 10 transactions, and I want to send you more. And here's the book I'm going to do it with. And I'm just being really intentional with it. I'm just looking for you to think of me every time you hear the word real estate. And the CPA kind of looked at her and said, I can't believe this didn't come up. But my wife is a real estate agent, and for me to sleep in the big boy bed, I have to send her all my referrals. And so, man, that really put Linda sideways, because she's spent all this time in this casual relationship with the CPA, 10 deals essentially down a black hole. And until she was able to turn that or attempt to turn that relationship from casual to committed, she was going to continue to do this. Now, since I think the beginning of last year, has a new CPA who is, last time we spoke, it was about 6 deals that in the year the CPA has gotten her, just by having a powerful conversation, just by changing that relationship from casual to committed. So guys, just think about that. We all do it. I'm guilty of it. I've sent referrals to people that I was never going to get deals back. I don't do it anymore. But think about it. If we could stop that gap and we could figure out, are they on our team or not? And like we said before, like some of these can't be, one-to-one or send us exclusive deals. And in that case, they just have to be awesome. But if they can send us a good amount of deals, it's time to find someone else like Linda did, and really, she'll do 6 deals more than she would if she just continued to be casual about it. So,
yeah, thanks for sharing that, Rick. I love that story, and it's not because she sent referrals to a CPA for several years down a black hole and never got anything in return, but because she used the Playbook platform. She showed up intentionally with the next person that she created a committed relationship with and started receiving referrals. So listen, we're out of time. In
Rich,
closing.
I'm sorry, I just want to say, VJ, we see you. We would love to have you on the next call. We just obviously ran out of time. But yeah, let's plan to have you on, if you don't mind, next month. Love to hear your value.
Absolutely. So listen, in closing, I just want you to think about in the next coming weeks, next coming meetings you have with people who are either casual or you want to move from acquaintanceship to relationship, is how do you want to show up? How do you want to show up to them, especially your home sphere, but anybody in your life personally, and what you would do differently than what you've done in the past? So we're out of time. I want to thank you all for joining us. It's been a great call. We look forward to speaking with you next month. We'll have a couple other real estate agents on the panel to get some feedback and some success and story with. And I want to leave you with this. Have a phenomenal weekend. And regardless of what you celebrate, have a wonderful Pesach or a happy Easter. Hope you have a great weekend. Take care.